Good morning, welcome back to the channel. This is February the 8th of 25, and my name's Milt. This is Luna that's behind me. I'm sure everybody that's ever watched my videos know that by now. But anyway, we're still out here rolling around this old D3400 engine block in the snow and on pallets and so on and so forth. As you can see now, it's pretty much stripped down. It's pretty much empty. And I've been really struggling with removing the pistons. I did on my own get number 2, 3, and 4 piston out, but I could never get number 1. Not really being one to give up easy on any of these projects. I even went so far as believing that I could maybe turn this upside down. I had the cam and the crank out, turn it upside down and make up some sort of a pushing deal and just push the piston out with the liner, pull the liner out, because it should be easier than moving the piston. But I eventually gave up on that and figured, well, I might as well admit defeat, and I took it into town. I was having trouble getting the oil pump drive out of its home. I just couldn't get it to start to come up. So what I did was, I don't want to push it back down, but what I did was I took a hammer and a drift and I turned the assembly a little sideways and then put 2 bolts in these open threaded bosses there and screwed them in from underneath, and that pushed it up. Then I got a pry bar in underneath it, and it did give up. But there's what we got there. It's just full of heavy, thick stuff, rust. But it does turn. So I guess it's time we're stripping this thing right down. I wasn't going to go this far, I didn't think, but might as well take her down and clean her up and put her back together. But anyway, just a little trick. You can turn it around just a little bit. Put a couple of bolts in them thread bosses down there and just screw it up. It'll jack that pump up. And you don't risk getting a bunch of wedges stuck in there, beating up the flanges and stuff. So, worked out good for me anyway. So now I can pull the cam. Okay, there I got the cam out, and it's actually not in rough shape. It's got some watermarks, obviously, but I think it's going to be all right. Well, damn sure it's going to be all right. One way or another, this stuff's going back together and it's going to run. So, yeah, I don't want to be spending a whole bunch of money looking for new stuff that's just used stuff, so might as well stay with the used stuff I got. I finally got the filter tower and injection pump off the side of this engine, and whoever was on this here operation before just put 3 short bolts to tie the tower to the pump housing, but it's supposed to have through bolts going right through here to the intermediate cover, or the middle cover of the gear case that drives the pump and the cam and everything else. And when you get it off, it's supposed to have those bolts here. They're probably 8 inches long, but they're not there. So this whole assembly was only held on by, well, 4 or maybe 5 bolts. 5 bolts. Just here, 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 and here. So the whole inside of the assembly was not bolted actually to the engine. I'm amazed that it actually still hung out on the side of the block. Well, I decided I can't get that number 1 piston out of its position. So I'm going to take this block on a pallet into town, to one of the heavy-duty mechanic shops in town, and they're going to put it on their 50-ton press. I'm pretty sure that piston in this area here is going to drop out. I might have to leave it there over the weekend. It wouldn't be a bad idea to leave it in the shop, warm it up, thaw it out, and then press on her. But gonna take her into town today.
Don't get me in your video.
Nope, nope, I don't. I won't include you. Not even your voice. Yeah, pretty nice shop. I just drove right in. They got this great big overhead crane. Just picked the block up out of the pickup truck and rolled it on over to the big press here, and it's suspended by the crane as he's pressing it out.
Give her another touch.
When it first popped free, it was registering probably 35 tons on the gauge, and then we pushed the rest of the way at about 25, 27 tons.
Yeah, I was going underneath the beat.
It was pushing probably that same tonnage almost to the end here when he had to quit pushing and let the ram back up and put a little extension in there so he could push it right through and out the bottom of the block.
Just about 27 tons.
27 tons to push.
Easy.
It's holding on right to the end. Gonna give it an extension?
Oh, I'll just add something there.
Yeah. I was just wondering, you think because it's frozen it would be harder to push? Like moisture in there, like frost? I don't know. Right?
Shouldn't make a difference.
Because it's been soaking for months, really. Finally, almost free. Look at that. Now that's a pretty dry piston.
Yeah.
After months of soaking, it never soaked up nothing, but We got her out. 27, what'd you say, 27 tons, Jim?
27 tons.
All that time pushing out that piston, it was a force to reckon with, right to the time it dropped right out of the bottom of that bore. But we never even unhooked it off the crane, the overhead crane there. We just kept it suspended, got that done, swung her back over, put it in the truck, and then I headed home. This is the piston we pulled out of it. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but this is pretty dry, rusty, flaky stuff there. It's all that soaking. It hasn't seen a darn bit of moisture at all. Heating and water and everything else. So we'll just clean this thing up and see what it looks like. The rod is totally seized on the pin there. So we'll have to soak that up, free it up somehow, and get her cleaned up, see what it actually looks like. Well, that pretty much brings us all up to speed. We're back here with an empty block, and what's ahead of me now is a pretty big, massive cleanup. Clean up those pistons, free those pins, and like the wrist pins, and the rings are all locked right up, so that's going to be a soaking, and just tenderly work with them. I got to be careful I can't break any of those rings, because these are only rings I got. And yeah, it'll be a bunch of sitting on a pail with a little bit of diesel fuel and a brush and a scraper. Be a few days I'll be working at that, and hopefully it's forecast to be above zero here in a few days, so this won't look quite so frosty. Anyway, that's all we got for now, so follow along. I'm glad you are following along, and like, subscribe, and above all, make some comments. I'd love to respond to the comments there as I'm lounging around drinking coffee. All right, bye for now. This is a couple of shots, just number 1 bore and number 2 bore, and they're looking pretty rough. They're just a before, and we'll see what they look after.